to clarity. So today's episode, we're talking about different keys with clutter to clarity. And I'm going to share with you guys some insights into my own journey and some of the clarity that I got from my latest trips overseas, and just insights on ways that I love to do things that are true to me. And hopefully through this episode and through this video, you get more insight to help you get clutter to clarity. So it's easier, I think, to often get rid of the physical clutter. So whether that's cleaning your car, whether that's downsizing, whether that's clearing out your closet, like that's where I started clearing out clutter years ago, you guys. However, as you get deeper and as you start to clear more clutter spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, physically, it gets harder. And that's definitely something I've experienced in 2018, clearing the internal clutter. So a couple of things that I want to talk about in relation to the trips that I just took, going to 4 countries, and in relation to 2018. So my word for 2018 has been faith. And I started this practice about 2 years ago when Garen Jones mentioned a book called One Word. So if you haven't heard of Garen, definitely recommend you go follow him. He's our mentor with Herbalife, a great friend, and just so much transformation and inspiration on so many levels. So my word last year was focus. And this year it's been faith, and it's definitely brought up so many different things for me. And then I'm gonna talk about clearing that clutter and what it looks like to go from to go from fear to faith, and to stay there, and to stay on that rock solid foundation, and to stay stable, and to grow, and to believe that our creator and the universe is serving you and giving you opportunities to learn and grow. Then we're going to talk about the courage to create. So when you're putting yourself out there, when you're sharing your story, when you're sharing your message, when you're sharing your creations, it's very different, or at least I've found that, when you're creating for someone else, as far as for someone else's dream. But in essence, you're still creating for someone else because you're creating for the people that you're going to serve. And it's having faith that they're showing up, that you're showing up. And then choosing compassion. Choosing compassion with yourself, choosing compassion with the journey, choosing compassion to be patient with yourself as you grow through different things and as you learn different things. Like, you didn't get here overnight off of these choices, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your wealth, in your business, in your mindset, in your relationships. And you're not gonna get to freedom and being fully who you are overnight either. So it's having that compassion and that patience. So number one, focusing on faith. You guys, I just got back from a whirlwind trip through London, through Austria, through Bulgaria, and through Spain. And London was my first stopover, and I decided months and months ago. So different things have been going on, as many of us, we go through different things in family and health and different things. And my family all lives overseas. And it wasn't the best time for me to go on any level. But years ago, I would always choose work or quote unquote the best time, versus realizing now part of my journey was to go ahead and take that leap and go even though it wasn't the best time. So I started thinking about, well, okay, it's not the best time. So how else can I leverage or stretch my faith or focus on faith and have this opportunity? So I realized, I said, oh my goodness, I'm stopping in London anyway. Why not take a leap of faith, and why not host some mini workshops on health, money, and business, and reach out in faith via platforms and people that I know to create these workshops. And you guys, the connections that I made and the people that I've met, from Michelle Louvbridge to Celia Litvin to so many other people, have been amazing. So, that was an experience in London, and staying at an Airbnb with a Russian family and their 2 kids was awesome. Then I went to Vienna and spent time with my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece, and my nephew, and I would spend time during the day focused on them, spending time with them, and then working at night, doing things at night. So with the time difference, that helped me, but it didn't help me with my lack of sleep. Then I went to go visit my parents and stayed with them for 2 weeks. So I don't know about you, but it's been a long time since I've lived with my parents for any stretch of time. And so that was a beautiful thing, but also different opportunities to clear clutter and to stay calm and to stay firm in foundation, to stay stable, to honor my truths, to honor my journey, and to have compassion and love no matter what. And then I went to Spain, and in Spain I also got to explore. I also hosted a workshop outside at a garden in an Airbnb. So that brought up different things. Then coming home a day later and opening myself up to that, because I got sick twice while I was gone, and purging things, energy shifts, just different water, different things going on with my body, so many different things. So in this year, and especially within the last 5 weeks, there's been a repeat focus in my brain in clearing the clutter to focus on faith. And in that, to choose to shift any thoughts of lack, any thoughts of fear, to faith and abundance. And you guys, it's not easy, because if you've thought or done or defaulted to certain thoughts or certain ways of being or doing or feeling, the resistance in shifting like your thoughts and your neural pathways is real. So that's definitely been, amping up on journal time, amping up on meditating on the word, amping up on meditation, releasing, fear of the future, so many different things. And then clearing that clutter, choosing to be hyper aware in the present. And even now, as I'm focusing on creating a larger event here in Atlanta, and focusing on that and and creating more community, creating more collaboration. So I'm filming at WeWork, you guys, and side note, you may see some people going back and forth. I just thought this was the best lighting and the best position, so it's probably what they were looking at, like, what's she doing? Because not a lot of people film here. And so clearing that clutter and making those shifts, but also being in that process, continuing to have the courage to create, continuing to trust that the more I show up, the more people show up for me. And not just for me, but for themselves. And you guys, the shifts in community over the last 3 months have been massive. The responses that we're getting from influencers, from brands, the confidence and the courage that I'm growing and learning to create and to reach out to people and to offer things, whether it's a podcast feature, whether it's the ability to connect with an event, whether it's as an influencer, whether it's as a brand, so many different things, and being open to the unknown and submitting to the process, because having, a strategy and a structure and a system, but also having passion, purpose, and people, and also creating the freedom at the same time that others have the same thing, and honoring them in their truth or in their models or in their thoughts to see if we can play in the sandbox together is, you guys, completely different than what I used to do years ago, but is also very similar to what I used to do in college when I created nonprofits with 2 of my best friends, Angela and Janelle. And Janelle is now my angel. She passed away in 2013 from cancer. And she always said to me, you're gonna be like Oprah, you're gonna be Oprah, and I'm gonna be your Gail. So that's part of also what drives me, like, to give back, because when someone believes in you that much, it's amazing. Or, things that my mom has said, things that my dad has said, like, so many different things. And then in the courage to create, different things have come up through the unknown, through trusting that everything's showing up exactly how it's meant to, for me, for us, in this moment. and then having that compassion and that patience with myself and with others. Because if I don't have it with myself, I'm not gonna have it with others. And years ago, you guys, for those of you that may have known me or have worked with me in different corporations or different roles, I wasn't known to be the most patient person. I was a kind of get shit done person, but I also valued myself first and foremost on the money that I earned, on the statuses that I had, the positions that I held, and I didn't know how to value myself fully as a human no matter what. But the beauty of that is I relate to both of those extremes of valuing yourself no matter what you earn or produce and being happy and responding and being with love, but then also understanding the mindsets of when people value you off your performance and your work, and realizing that's something that comes deep within them, and maybe you'll be an example to help them shift too. So I hope that helps you clear some clutter to clarity and give you the courage to create a life and a business you love.